Welcome everyone to November 2nd Commissioners Meeting. Join me in the pledge of allegiance to the flag. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everyone. Okay, we've approved the minutes from October 19th, payable vouchers and payroll docket. I'd entertain a motion to accept as submitted.
Move we approve the minutes from the 19 October meeting, the accounts payable vouchers and the payroll docket as presented.
My second. All those in favor signify by aye. Aye. So moves. Okay. Heather dear, you have the floor. Oh, you brought back up, huh?
Yeah, I did.
Good.
This is Chad and Ryan from Henriette. They're our new brokers, so I'm gonna let Chad take the floor.
Awesome. Hey, everyone, I'm Chad Ryan. We're gonna kind of do a quick presentation on what the county's new benefits proposed will be pending your acceptance January 1st of 2024. So the changes that we are recommending now take place on annual cycle. Everything that we're recommending now will take place in January 2024. We will start with this document. So currently, MetLife is the county's dental insurance provider. They are proposing a 9% increase. However, if we move the vision insurance, which I'll touch on in a second, it's on the next page, and the worksite coverages, which are coverages like accident, critical illness, and hospital indemnity, to MetLife, we were able to reduce the dental renewal from 9% down to 5%, which is what we're proposing. In addition, if we kind of flick over to the second page, by moving the vision coverage, it is the exact same vision coverage with the exact same network for a slightly lower cost. So we will be able to help offset some of those dental costs for essentially the exact same plan. And then finally, in addition, we'll also be able to help streamline the benefits. So right now, we have 3 different carriers managing 3 different sets of benefits. We'll be able to consolidate that, hopefully make reporting a little bit easier for Heather, less chance for administrative error, things of that nature. And then finally, on the last page, we have the worksite benefits. I talked about before, moving the vision coverage to MetLife. We will also move the worksite coverages from Aflac to MetLife as well. Things like accident, critical illness, and hospital indemnity coverage. Benefit with MetLife is we typically get a stronger contract with members. It's typically easier for claims to get paid. If there's issues that arise with someone's coverage, it's easier for myself or Ryan to intervene and interject and act on behalf of the member. And as you can see, the prices are nearly identical as well for a slightly stronger contract. So pending your approval, we'd like to move forward with this install for January 1st. And we'll touch on medical here shortly after this. The next packet, we have the medical coverage. So I believe here has all of the stop loss enrollment information in there as well. Administration costs are staying flat this year. Yeah, we don't have to review that one. Administration costs are staying exactly the same. So the PEPM monthly cost for custom design benefits, who is administering the plan, identical to what they were last year, no increases. On this page, I have summarized our stop loss options, which is the part of the premium that changes and is variable. You'll notice we have 2 options. On the top bar, this is our fixed cost, so our stop loss premium. We have 2 different options to reduce and the cost for the county for the exact same coverage. We were able to negotiate the renewal down to an $8,000 decrease and an alternative option through a consortium, which allows the county to buy stop loss as part of a bigger pool, is currently coming in at $14,000 decrease. In addition, below, one of the factors helps set the cap. The bottom box, you'll see aggregate factors. This sets the cap for the county. So in a worst case situation, let's say the county has $10 million of claims. It's very unlikely. It's probably never going to happen. But in the event that something like that were to happen.
So when it does happen, we'll
No,
come back
no,
to you, all right?
Because you said it wouldn't happen.
This aggregate insurance sets a cap. So essentially, it sets your worst case scenario in any given year. Yeah, no, I appreciate you giving me a hard time. Keep these things interesting.
And you picked a huge number. Huh?
Yeah, it just helps me to help me make the point. So, the renewal is proposing $117,000 increase to that cap, right? So this oftentimes won't come into play, but essentially they're proposing $170,000 increase to your potential liability. Whereas with the consortium option, it's only a $68,000 increase to your potential liability of the plan. So with that recommendation, we opt to go with the consortium model. We typically get better pricing. In the long term, we typically see better renewals. And there's also some neat features of the program that are very nuanced and we can go into if we want, but I don't think you guys really care that much. There's some other neat programs within the consortium that help limit high cost claims. So in the event that a single member incurs a lot of claims, there's some cool features within there that help us mitigate those and limit the damage essentially to the Jefferson County's health benefits plan and the pool of money they have set aside for the employees. The last page is the contribution proposal. So you can see currently on the current contributions per paycheck that are paid today. And then you can see proposed contributions. The reason we want to adjust the contributions is right now it is tough for the county to retain families or recruit employees that need family coverage because it is currently about $800 per pay, $1,600 per month, nearly $20,000 a year just to have the coverage itself. That's extremely expensive. If we were to reduce that cost by $351 per pay, down, so the net contribution for a family be $450. We predict probably in the worst case scenario, like max, that we probably see maybe 6 people migrate. So that would be people covering their employee children now adding spouses, or people with employee spouses plans now adding their children to the plan. That would lead to a net or a decrease or part of the Jefferson County's employee fund today, which there is a pool, I believe, of $185,000 roughly today. We would like to essentially over the course of the year use 20,000 of that to help improve the contributions to make it easier, 1, to recruit, and 2, also improve the options of the family plan. After that, so the previous page had the numbers if enrollment stayed exactly the same as is today. On the bottom of the page we're just reviewing, it shows there is still $6,000 of savings from moving stop loss to this. So it's really only a net $14,000 impact to the pool of money we have today. In addition, we'll be evaluating some things throughout the year to hopefully help mitigate costs. So with your approval, we'd like to move the vision insurance to MetLife, the Aflac coverages to MetLife, and we'd like to go with the alternative stop loss that we propose here. And we'd also like to go with the revised contribution model effective January 1st, 2024.
And the stop loss doesn't change anything with custom design benefits, so we still keep the same medical insurance, it's just
Yep.
like the back end.
Any questions?
No, we got into buying a couple years ago with stop loss, didn't we? Because we had a couple.
Yeah.
Unfortunate, yeah.
Mhm. And I think that with those, like if we would have had this stop loss, there would have been options that we can move them off of the plan when we had those high claimants and try to help them find their own insurance so that it's not hitting the county. So I think that's one thing, since we've already experienced that once before. That,
Right.
unfortunately, we had a couple back to back, so.
Yeah, we've seen great results with the consortium. In addition, just one other thing that we like to note that we're currently evaluating on the town of Hanover. They have about 15 employees and they currently buy insurance by themselves. They're looking at joining the county's insurance plan. So in order for us to ensure that, 1, we're not bringing on any bad risk or employees that are sickness or anything that could negatively affect the Jefferson County's employees and their pool of funds, we're making each of their employees who are enrolled in the medical plan complete medical questionnaires, just so that we get a history of what's going on. And as long as everything checks out, or so as long as if they were to come on our plan, things would stay neutral or improve, we'd ask for approval of that. In the event that we believe it would negatively impact the Jefferson County, we have them remaining where they are today.
It would just be like the library does. They pay their own portion of the bill. or
Right.
that, so.
If that would be more bodies,
Mhm.
should be.
It would, yeah, over
a little
time.
reduction.
Yeah, so we should see a little bit reduction
Right.
in stop loss. Also, things just get a little bit more predictable, right? Because you have more people, you know. And so if we're able to predict better down the road, we're able to kind of know what conditions might come up. It does help us implement some other solutions that might not be available if you're at a smaller pool of
Right.
people.
Okay. And this does come at the recommendation from the
Yes.
committee, so.
Yep. Mhm.
Mhm.
Any
Sure,
questions?
I just, so this, I mean, I think it's great that we can cut $351 off, but do we have to talk to anybody about doing it, or is that those funds you able to?
So from our FSA account,
They're in our self-funding insurance account. It does not have to be budgeted. It is a rolling.
I mean, it's used today for things,
Yeah,
but
like-
now it
yes.
just would be used for the,
we'll
I
use
mean,
it in
I,
like our biometric screenings and stuff like that. We've always used it for that and anything extra that comes out if there were to be like.
When we were once with the clinic,
Yes.
we paid that out of there as well.
okay. I just want to make sure,
That was
yeah,
part of the stipulation when we first went self-insured, wasn't it? That if we had good years, we had a surplus of money, we could use it to benefit, contribute to the employees again.
Right,
So
so.
we should be clean and green on that.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
so, I'll move that we move to the, how do I want to make, to the consortium. We want to agree with the reduction in the family, because everything else stayed the same.
That's
It's
correct.
just the family semi-monthly employee contribution from 801.11 to 450. And then move this is that part of the stopgap?
That's the dental. So that would be moving the vision and the worksite benefits to
Vision.
MetLife.
To MetLife. And so I move that we move that to MetLife. So that's MetLife and VSP, but do we have VSP already?
Yep.
Yeah, okay, so just through them, it's better price, I guess. Anything else I need to move?
I second.
You second,
got
Dave?
the-
Well, you don't want to go
I
through
don't
that?
wanna read
Oh,
it.
come
I
on.
don't wanna
Okay.
read
All right, we have a motion and a second. Is there any other comments? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Aye, motion so carried.
Can you sign that one? for
This one?
custom? Yeah.
So programs.
Hmm.
Like wellness programs, I'll have to, my other life is at a company that provides benefits for doing certain things. Keeping track of how many steps you have a day, or just,
Right,
I don't know if those are options that you're looking at. I don't know
So
if the
we-
consortium, oh, you have, okay.
So we're talking to custom
Okay.
design about doing like a lifestyle savings account. We're kind of in talks with Lindsay. She has some money that she might be able to use to help with that. So that was one thing and
Just, I think just things to consider down the road. Seems like a lot of them are doing it.
Yeah.
All that I'm going to my medical history, all that I have to do is pretty easy. And you obviously, by doing things for them, they obviously get something out of it. I'm sure Dow pays them some too, but.
Hey, Commissioner, I'm Ryan Secord. I'm the broker for the account. I just wanted to say, we've been here roughly 90 days. So our biggest focus was making sure that we get
No, I
everything
just-
on track with the current renewal. But we have several things that we have planned in first quarter of next year to discuss that are going to further help cut costs for both the county and the employees. And these are part of the things that we're having active discussions on.
Yeah, long term, I'm not
Yes.
talking, because I mean, I know what, for them, it wasn't just like, oh yeah, let's go do this, because they had to study and stuff, but just, it seems like those kinds of programs are catching traction and provide not only benefits back to the people, but also if you stay healthier, well, then that's gonna pay benefits to the county in the long run, so, anyway.
Absolutely.
All right.
Any questions for us before we head out? Great, well, we're happy to help. We're very happy to be here. We thank you for your time and we promise to be good stewards of the taxpayer dollars moving forward.
Thank you.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you, Heather. Okay. Megan, come on down.
That wasn't the usual scream after.
Yeah,
And she's
didn't we give
she's
it all
either,
away?
she's either nervous or not hearing us.
Sorry, me.
She's not hearing us. That's okay. It's probably for the best.
She's never nervous.
It's probably.
I am here today to present, an investment policy. It's been a long time coming, I think. We should have a copy of it.
Okay.
So basically, Pat McGrath wrote this up like yesterday. It's just outlining safe codes, Indiana codes. You know, we're looking to invest as soon as we get this approved, so we can earn the county a little more money. Interest rates are up at the moment, considering. So, yeah. It outlines that if I'm not there, then my chief deputy would be in charge. It's making sure, outlining the investments that we can do. Making sure I'm not investing for my own gain.
Yeah, it could be a problem.
Yeah. There is an extra ordinance that would have to be approved by county council for any investments for 2 to 5 years. I just wanted to present that to them, just to have it for the county. These are only good for about 4 years at a time. So I wanted to get those done simultaneously, just for future purposes.
So, how will you decide? I mean, will you just rely on the state and how they invest, or will you decide how it, I mean,
It outlines in here that investments are up to the county treasurer.
okay.
That you know, search and do your research and make sure that you're getting the best interest possible. And
I know it's one says to adequately safeguard principal. In other words, it wouldn't be a volatile or high risk.
right.
Right,
This would be safe.
pretty secure,
investments, yes.
yeah,
The bank
or
would be
insured.
and
right.
my knowledge, there hasn't been an investment since at least 2015, 16. So. I'm anxious to do a little something for the county.
I think that was just a money market, wasn't it?
I think I came across a CD that
Oh,
matured
yeah.
back in 2016.
Yeah.
That's kind of what we were looking into. Something easy, and that we're getting a 3.4% interest rate right now.
Wow, they're 3.4
Yep.
from, what was it, like 0.6?
Point something, yeah.
I mean, the reason I
Yeah,
ask,
well,
is it worth having some folks that deal in that realm of the world give us a consultation on things to invest? I don't know if you've thought about that. I don't want to step on your toes. I don't know, maybe you dabble in the market, and I would know much. Thank goodness my guy doesn't let me make a lot of it.
Yeah, I've been working with local banks and just seeing what they have to offer at the time. There are some more in-depth things. I was kind of looking at something a little short-term for now, something that's not a high risk. If we need to back out, there's no fees or anything.
It just maybe down the road, it would be good to look into something like that and just ask, I've got to believe there are people out there that would be glad to do that for you. But, just see if they'll let you know.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
one, what their fee is and what's what's part of that, just,
Right.
um. Yeah. So maybe down the road, just. I don't say dabble, because that's a bad word, I mean, you're just playing in it, but in those. Businesses that do that kind of, that line of work. Are there? I'm sure we can talk to certain someone, who probably have a recommendation, but. It may be hidden, but I don't know. Anyway, okay. I mean, I just thought. Somewhere down the road would be good too.
Yeah,
So Pat just said that, we just needed to discuss it and vote, and, if it's signed by the Board of Finance, and then the ordinance would be presented to the council, and then we can go from there.
Do we need to have a Board of Finance meeting? I know that's us, but do we,
Technically, it is the Board of Finance.
Just
You guys
because
are
it-
the Board of
yeah,
Finance.
okay.
Not sure if we need to
I didn't know if
have
we
a
had that,
special meeting.
because usually every year we have the Board of
First of the
Finance
year.
meeting, we
Yeah,
open, close it, and
yeah.
then we're done, but.
Right.
If he didn't say that, then I'm okay, I
You
just
did not
didn't
say
know,
that.
so, since we're.
It just has your all's names
I
on it.
know, I know. I'll let Ron make this motion. No.
Yeah. Well, it sounds to me like you already investigated.
it says you can only put 25% of it in anyway, right?
Into any one, I would think, you know,
I
if you
thought
did,
it said of the capital. 25% total portfolio of public funds. But anyway.
yeah.
I trust her.
No, you're right.
Trust her.
Well, I make a motion that we move on this county investment policy.
I second that.
Have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye.
Uh,
Motion carries.
Thank you, guys. Do we sign this today, or do you look over it? Thank you.
We passed it, we better. Sorry.
Call Pat.
Yeah. We'll sign it.
She'll need a copy too. won't she?
There's one that she needs to sign back. Get a pen. While you're doing
Pass them around. Want to send you a copy,
No.
or-
something else, and then
Oh, 2 copies.
hopefully-
Take one to Molly and report it
Does it need to
as a
be
miscellaneous document so that you can find it later.
as a? I guess I just put
NOS.
November. November.
Second.
You need,
I can put it in there and do that.
you can do that.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right,
Just let me know if you report it or if I need to.
I'll take it in the morning.
Okay.
First thing.
Thanks,
you,
Megan.
guys.
Thanks, Megan.
Appreciate it. Okay. Mr. Klein,
I'm here this evening to talk about a couple of unsafe building cases that we have going on. First of all, I've got a property located at 3495 North Paper Mill Road. I believe you have a letter in front of you that's from the lawyer of MLP Services LLC. They're requesting that we give them until March 31st of 2024 to clean up that property. There's an old house that's dilapidated, caving in, and there's a garage sitting beside it and some other junk that's there, a few dead trees on that property. I think that it would be at the county's best interest to allow them to go ahead and clean that up and be less expense that way.
wholeheartedly agree with you. If they'll take care of it, we'll let them do it.
Okay. So I think that letter just come in this morning, so I think that's pretty much all we had on that one. And then Arlie Colvin's place, Arlie's here tonight. And his place, he's got two properties that had a house fire out in the center of Kent. I served his papers to him today because he had refused the letters that.
Registered mail.
Registered mail, yes. So I went out and posted that to his door today, and he's here tonight, but the law states that we have to give him 10 days before we can have an actual hearing, so we'd have to reschedule that probably for the next meeting. But I don't know if Harley would like to speak about what he's wanting to do out there tonight, since he's already here. It just can't be an official hearing at this point. I think that's all I've got.
Okay. Hello, my name's Arlie Cohen. That was the picture before the fire. And then that's part of the picture coming from the church heading east. And that's when me cleaning a decent amount up. That's right after the fire. And the problem that I had is both these houses were right next to each other. So when one took off, and by the inability of Hanover and Matt Kent get enough folks out there, it basically burnt both down. The two-story is the biggest one. If I have to, I'll give that one up, because I'm not sure I'm gonna be able to put a that's something I have to do or with a climb on the boundaries of my property on what I can put back on it for with a house. Now, since I've passed that 6-month mark for the foundation type permit, it's basically I've been told that I basically had to clean up both houses. I have no problem cleaning up this house. If I have to make a decision between the longer lot versus the smaller, I'll give the small one up. The guy that has that property behind that one has been after my dad and me for the last 5 to 7 years to get the property. And the main reason why he was wanting it is because when they were going to put that highway through, which basically meant they were going to have to pay up or buy up all that lot. Here I've also just found out there's a possibility that they've been going around Kent has been offered, but I like to keep the property. I just don't have the funds at this time to have it done within a matter of a month. I've been working on it since it burnt down. I didn't get home and out of the hospital till about December 5th. And my dad was also he had a heart attack within 3 days of the fire. And it was just before Thanksgiving. I understand that the county has already pushed it further beyond what typically is normal. I'm supposed to have a settlement that should have been a couple months ago, but now I've gotten back with the lawyer as it should be by the end of noon, November. So around December 1st, the latest, I'm supposed to get all that money to basically help take care of the 2 houses. One's house is $12,000 and the other house is $12,000. And I don't have $12,000 in my pocket. And my father has Social Security is giving about $2,000 a month. I've tried several times to kind of convince him that I'll go find a job if I just got to sit on my butt. Well, I'm going to pursue him this time around. If that lawsuit doesn't come through, then I'm going to get a job against his, because I don't want to lose the property. The property's been there since 1977. And the property, this 2-story, I think it was 88 or 90 when that was bought. So I grew up and I raised in this house, the blue one here. So everything my dad has built up, everything that we have had on both houses, property, and everything, because we always usually take it there just for safekeeping. But both the fire took out, it destroyed all of that, and it destroyed almost $169,000 in tools that my dad has managed to keep from his contraction with his whole company construction. So I would like to be able to, May first, to get myself ability to go forward due to the winter months. The winter months, I know it's very difficult to work around, and especially when you're trying to clean up the property in the winter months. That's actually what got us in the predicament we're in now, is we had insurance, especially for the one story. I was basically trying to see if there's any other insurance companies that would take us for a cheaper rate. Well, then the next thing I know, this insurance adjuster said, you got three months to put a new roof, both sides. Okay. Well, it was about almost 10,000 per side of the house. So we were within probably $500 to $700 from getting that last assembly on the, we took care of the front. We worked on the second back half. We had the money to get there, but I said, well, we're getting ready to go in the winter time, so I'm afraid the roof tiles won't seal down with the tar. So I pushed it to around January, February to start looking a little bit better, and then working around March or April to actually get the shingles done. We lost all the money in the fire. We're supposed to be safe, but we burnt up, and everything we've had. The only thing I was able to walk away with was my dad, 2 of my 3 pets, myself and him with the van. Everything else has been destroyed. And I'm asking if I can have to the beginning of May to get us all taken care of. My goal is to get it done faster. When I get the funding, if I'm able to, I will get it done. I'm just not sure I want to take that risk into the middle of winter time due to all the sludge and all that stuff. I'm at your mercy. I don't know how else to describe it, but I'm at your mercy. And if I screw up on this thing, I lost everything from the family. So at least we got the property. It's a little bit of a mess, but at least we have the property. And need be, I'll sell the smaller one to put money into the one story. I don't know if you guys need to see the pictures. And then that's coming from the west going east, where the one story used to be at. And then as you can see the picture there, there's the two-story. There's a picture of it now, of the 2-story. Heading west. I understand completely where you guys are at. I used to be former fire chief up in Alaska. So I can see the hard job you guys have to basically do a sheriff's sale on somebody's property. They're not going to get anything done. I'm doing the best I can. $2,000 a month. It wouldn't even take care of 6 months. Wouldn't even take care of cleaning one house. And that's if all money was taken out. That's not including food, fuel, electric. And that's just off the top of my head. So I've been trying my best. I appreciate your time.
So you think you should have settlement by December 1st?
I would love to say yes. I can't
mean,
guarantee that.
Is that tentatively
Yes.
or should be in the works?
By mid-November to the 1st of December.
Say the first week of December.
Mhm.
Josh, what would be your thoughts? If that happens, he lets you know and then can kind of address it. Because we're only roughly 3 weeks from that anyway,
So
so,
the first meeting in December is the 7th.
yeah.
I mean, I don't think there's a whole lot I can do or say right at this point until
Right.
we can have an official
I mean,
hearing. So
you know, the thing we want to see is you try to make some effort to clean it up. I mean, we've shown with this other one, we're gonna wait until next March or the end of next March to get that cleaned up. So we know that there's a plan to get it cleaned up, but I'm pretty sure. I mean, early on, there was a plan to get this place cleaned up, right?
Yeah.
And you've stopped.
Now it's all because I ran out of money.
Well, I understand, but you know, at those points in time, I mean, people around you and here, you need to come and let us know those things that, hey, this is the situation, because if you, I know you're living in a camper on the lot, you just do it that way and not don't make any attempt, or at least tell people what's going on, and in our case, then it's hard for us to really know, okay, what's gonna happen. Are you just gonna leave it that way? Well, that's not acceptable, especially to folks around you. I mean, it's, but, so,
I apologize for that.
well, I
didn't know.
understand you, I just telling us
Mhm.
what's going on. That's, you know, refusing letters, that's probably not a good way to get to,
I didn't remember that.
things happen, I understand, but. So, I mean, if you're okay, I mean, I think if you come back on the 7th and let us know the status. Yeah, I got the money, or I didn't, and if they say it's a new date, telling us that, so we can at least, you know, and I understand it's hard to get cleaned up in the winter, but. You know, sometime next spring, we need to,
Okay, the 7th is November or December?
December,
December.
Yeah.
okay.
Roughly a month from now, so.
Okay,
Right.
I should have a way better plan for you all.
well, we'll know, I mean, you said you're not sure if you're gonna get your settlement money, but you should know, or if you don't know, I hope they'll give you, okay, it's gonna be now, they'll give you another date. But, we just, you know, we just can't keep pushing it down the road. Not fair to the folks living around you, and so,
Thank you.
Okay,
okay with you?
Yes.
Sorry, I mean, I kind of,
thanks, Josh.
okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Up next,
Since that was like a public hearing for that first property, maybe you guys should make a motion that you're approving the extension and then set a public hearing in April to follow up that was finished. Or,
When in April?
April 4th,
Or next time?
the April 4th,
April 4th.
April 4th.
Well,
For the.
That's for the, you know, the property, okay, okay, so I'll make a motion that we accept the letter about the address, 3495 North Paper Mill Road to wait until March 31st, 2024 for their cleanup. And then scheduling a public hearing on that property for April 2024.
I second.
We
I got you.
motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye. Motion carries.
need to do anything on the other one? I think we
And
just,
this is
I
our,
think Josh would need to advertise that there will be a public hearing on the next meeting.
For April 4th, you're saying on that person?
No,
No,
on
for
the second property,
Okay.
make sure that for December 7th, that you advertise afterwards.
Thank
so
you.
that'll be the official public hearing for the second property.
Right.
Yes.
thanks. No,
Okay. Up next is the county credit card policy ordinance.
Yes, so much like other things, the further we get into things, we see that we don't necessarily have up-to-date policy for use. And this would be a policy for credit cards use. And it is in the form of an ordinance. So we would be reading it for the first time today, and then at the next meeting, we would have our second reading. You want me to read?
what if I have a question, Joey, do we read it? or-
Yes, you can go ahead and ask.
Well, I was wondering,
Uh-huh.
on the misuse of the card portion, do
Uh-huh.
we? I know it's probably gonna be different depending on how much the misuse was, but should we put a time limit on repayment? So if they misuse it, they need to reimburse the county within a certain period of time?
I can have add something, a timeline. Do that for the next reading.
We can still read it with the caveat that this stuff is going on, but I just wonder, you know, we say, okay, if you don't. The violation could be disciplinary action, including termination, but sometimes it's okay, you gotta pay the county back
Right.
for whatever misuse was.
The main thing is when we are audited by State Board of Accounts, they only audit us to what our policy is. So,
Yep.
this protects
Yep. And
the
I
use of
agree.
the credit card.
Read the first page. Sure. Jefferson County Commissioners Ordinance 2023 blank credit card policy. The Board of Commissioners of Jefferson County, Indiana, the Commissioners, does hereby ordain and adopt the following policy governing all use of credit cards or similar credit transactions for services and or products by persons conducting business on behalf of Jefferson County government or any of its various offices, departments, boards, or subunits according to the following terms and conditions. 1. Authorization for use of credit cards. The Board of Commissioners of Jefferson County, Indiana is, or its designee, possess sole authority over the issuance of county credit cards or any similar line of credit or credit transaction product. 2. Designation of credit card issuer. The Commissioner shall designate a bank or credit card company as the sole issuer of credit cards to all Jefferson County departments, boards, and offices. 3. Purchasing agents as applicant. The purchasing agent may apply to the Commissioners for issuance of a credit card in the name of their department or office and shall pay the annual fee for issuance, if any. 4. Accounting system. The purchasing agent shall maintain an accounting system which shall include the name of the purchasing agent, their position, estimated amounts to be charged, and reason for the charge, fund and account numbers to be charged, and the date the card was issued and returned. 5. Use, custody, submission of claims, interest, and late fees. The auditor's office will maintain physical possession of county credit cards unless a written order or directive from the Commissioners provides otherwise. Cards will be signed out only as needed and will be promptly signed back after the purpose for which it was signed out has been accomplished, accompanied by documentation required by this policy as interpreted and implemented by the auditor.
Submission of claims to the auditor shall include the invoice and all supporting documents such as conference information, mileage report, validation of conference registration, the credit card transaction receipt, purchase receipt, or other documentation consistent with the policies of the auditor's office. C, any interest, penalty, or fee incurred due to late filing of the claim or furnishing of documentation as required by the auditor, or failure to ensure tax exempt status on any purchase shall be the responsibility of the purchasing agent. 6, charge limit. Commissioners may set a monthly charge limit for each card issued under section 3 above. 7, permitted uses. For good cause shown, the Commissioners may allow exceptions or expansions of credit card use on a case-by-case basis. 7, prohibited uses. A county credit card shall not be used for any of the following purchases or transactions. Any purchase for which there is not an existing and a sufficient appropriation at the time of use. Any cash advance. Any personal or non-business purchases, including meals, may be reimbursable. D, any alcoholic beverage. E, fuel maintenance or repairs for a non-county owned vehicle except rental cars. 8, discontinued use. When the purpose for which the card has been issued has been accomplished, or if use of the card has been discontinued, the card shall be promptly returned to the custody of the auditor. 9, loss, theft, or data breach. Any person in possession of a county credit card that shall conclude that the card has been lost or subject to a data breach or hack shall promptly report the incident to the auditor, and the card shall be immediately frozen or terminated. 10, misuse of card. The auditor shall report any misuse of a county credit card promptly to the Commissioners. The Commissioners may revoke credit card privileges of any pursuit purchasing agent or any other employee of agent of the county for violation of the terms of this policy. In addition, serious violation may support disciplinary action, including termination. This ordinance repeals any and all ordinances and resolutions or parts or ordinances and resolutions of the Board of Commissioners in conflict with this ordinance are not preserved hereby, be and the same are hereby repealed. Reading number one. Okay, next thing is our 2024 meeting dates and holidays. Any issues with anything?
I changed it.
No, no.
Well, you know,
I didn't know about the Fridays, but Dave's 10 o'clock thing.
Yeah.
What?
I went and looked on them off on those Fridays, so we're good there.
Okay, I make a motion, we adopt these meeting dates. Of course, things happen, but
Right,
for now,
I second that.
have a motion and a second on the meeting dates. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by aye. Okay. All days are pretty straightforward.
all right.
I move we accept the 2024 holidays as presented.
A second.
Have a motion and a second. All those in favor signify by aye for the 2024 holidays.
Aye.
Okay. Mr. Phillips,
You guys were out trick or treating, you got a little cool and you got a few snowflakes on you, didn't you?
didn't stay out.
Depending on
very
where
long.
you are, I guess I am just a little bit farther north from here.
That's pretty good, you came in for a while.
I was glad it disappeared in a hurry, but
Yeah.
there was a reminder the winter's coming. First thing I want to mention, I was hoping Ben would be here, but he's not, but I want to thank Sheriff Flint for quickly following up and investigating some trash and construction material that was dumped on one of the county roads. And was able to find out who dropped it, and they cleaned that up for us. That was greatly appreciated of his actions and our road crews recognizing that somebody dumped some building materials where they didn't belong, so hopefully we'll keep them, keep things cleaned up, because we all like to keep our can looking good, and I know we pay for trash truck and lots of services out there to try to provide those, which they don't take building materials, but that's a whole other entity all by itself. So, we've primarily been getting a lot of the equipment ready for winter. We added to our cinder stockpile this week, so we've got probably somewhere between 1,500 and 2,000 tons of cinders on the ground, about 200 tons of salt. Snowplow blades and things are kind of ready to go, so we've got adequate supplies of those, and hope we don't need any of them. It's just wonderful. Jack Frost has kind of helped us out a little bit on our vegetation control. We've been wrapping up most of the mowing. We'll still continue to keep trimming several of the trees and working some of those areas back. Catching up on the gravel road maintenance. Once dust season and finally gets a little bit of moisture back to the gravel roads so they don't get all dusty, we start working those back into the good condition, and hopefully we can keep everything drained off of those as they should work and function correctly. And when it was warm enough, we were doing some pothole patching and got most of the oil. I think we'll be servicing our storage tank for the emulsion for the total patcher. And we've still were able to get back after some crack sealing and crack filling materials and operations to preserve these roadways and be ready for the next round of chip seal next year, or however far we can keep pushing those forward. So, definitely been busy, lots of things going on. So thank you guys for everything you guys do and support, and keeping in touch with us and riding along so we can see what what other issues we have kind of arising and around the corner, so. That's kind of what we've had going on, other than trying to fill in some personnel gaps here as well, so. But there's lots of businesses and organizations within our community that's all doing that, so that's certainly not unusual. You guys have anything for me at this time? Good, thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you. Tricia.
Just wanna let y'all know that the Mix family, excuse me, they held a fundraiser in honor of their daughter Shauna May that they lost a couple of years ago. And all their proceeds from this came to the shelter, and they raised almost $3,000. It was $3,093 in cash. And then probably about $600 to $800 in dog food, cat food, kitty litter, and all that other kind of stuff. So I just wanted to take a moment, shout out to thank them for that and for honoring the animals with their daughter's memory. It was really surprising. I mean, with that money, we were hoping to get like some better storage cabinets up there at the shelter. Sometime you could come by and just
Okay.
kind of take a peek at what I'm thinking about, just to help us with the lack of storage up there. I mean, we've been traveling along, we've got adoptions are half off right now. So trying to get some animals out, so like the ones that need to get in from the winter cold, we can get them in. It's going pretty good,
Do you have, you said the Mix family?
yeah.
Do you have their address?
I
Can
do
you
it
get-
at the shelter.
You
Yes.
probably should write them a letter.
Yes, we
Yeah,
should.
yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I plan on, we made a post, you know, showing like all the items that they brought in, and we plan on doing some more things for them. For sure.
We could,
And then, we're just prepping for winter, getting ready for the cold season. And the critters.
How's the cat population? Is it down a little bit? I know it's worst of the two.
Yeah, I mean, we are getting towards the end of kitten season, so that's plus, but. I mean, we're still like 28 cats up there currently, and there's probably 23 or more names on a waiting list of people wanting to get rid of their own animals, of cats. And there's like 4 for dogs, but the cat's always an issue. So if y'all have any suggestions for that?
They're probably harder to turn than dogs, aren't they?
Yeah.
Or puppies or whatever.
Next year I might look into maybe lowering cat prices back down so that maybe it'll help with the turnaround better. I mean, that just means to lose a little more money on that end, but keeping them and taking care of them for the longer periods might equal out, you know, might balance us out.
Yeah.
If we can turn them around quicker than keeping them longer. And then I got my microchips ordered, so we'll be starting to offer that service back to the shelter animals.
Good. Good.
you had the low cost spay and neuter, how'd that go?
It went pretty good. I don't know the total number of spots that they had available, but 88 cats showed up for the clinic, and they said that
Whoever
51,
brought the cats was.
but they said 51%
didn't
of
show.
people who registered didn't show up. So that's
Hmm.
like looking at 90 plus cats that was scheduled to come that didn't come. That's
Second-
kind of scary.
Second thoughts.
Yeah, but we're having another one on December 3rd, and it's already available online to register for it, and it'll be on a Sunday, so maybe working, you know, people are more apt to be able to get there, so. That'll be a plus. And then I don't know, the interlocal agreements, like between the city, I know that they were starting on that. Has anybody heard how that's going along?
It's still up in the air, I'll put it that way.
Okay, is there anything that I need to be prepared for those? Anything? That you know of?
I think once we get a copy,
Let
maybe
her
look
look at
over it
it.
and.
Yeah, go over
and
it
stuff
with
like
you,
that, so.
let you critique it too, so.
I just. Yeah, I think that's about it. Holding in there, we got a full crew, they're doing really good.
Good.
Yeah, I've got like, they're all pretty good, so. Y'all see any of them out, thank them for us.
I did the other day.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because they're busting their chops
Yep.
for me. They're doing great.
Okay. Thank you for what you do.
And I apologize for being late for so many nights.
No, that's okay.
Don't let that happen again. okay?
Yeah.
Require a lot.
Mr. Matt.
So was able to meet up with Susie and we talked about a few of the after action issues that we identified for the items that we have, so. Our recommendations when we move forward with the T-Mobile SIM cards are at no cost to us. Just to provide some secondary communication inside the EOC. They have, or I'm sorry, the specimen. They have one FirstNet phone. But that was used when we transferred 911 phone calls up to Denise for us to communicate with them back and forth. So when we got a 911 call, they would call us and say, this is what's going on. And that was the only other phone that we had. So if there were any other outside communication that happened, they were using personal phones and or somebody else from the sheriff's department was coming up and trying to help deal with that, all that stuff. So I think we're gonna try to expand this T-Mobile program a little bit. And maybe try to incorporate some of the fire departments and things like that that may or may not have access to that. It's just a free SIM card. So we provide the devices for fire departments that don't have, like a mobile tablet or mobile phones like that, they can have. I don't know the situation with T-Mobile service here. I've never had it. But of course, Maps is great. And it's gonna be no cost either way, so I think it's a big benefit for us. Susan
Have to
seems to be
stand
all
in a certain position with.
I
just to
think
get
so,
signal.
yeah, it's on the
right.
left
Bounce it
here
off the
on
building,
Thursday,
yeah.
it'll work.
Right.
Yes, and so Susie agreed. She thinks that we probably need to have a fixed satellite system here through Starlink and then a mobile system as well. Considering that the only time we're going to be charged if we use them, they bill that on the month. So if we use it for one day or we use it for 30 days, they're going to quote us for the whole month. And I think that the lowest cost plan that they have is like $120. So if we need that for backup, that's going to be much easier to switch over with one IP address for that system than it is the random CRDs that we'll get from an example, say have 5 of those, and for those guys to go through and program all the IP addresses and stuff like that, probably pretty difficult. And
I mean, I think this way they can pre-program it, right? So when
Yes.
it does happen, they.
yeah,
they'll
and these
switch.
systems will be here.
plug
We're
and
not
play.
relying on them to come up here and all that. It doesn't cost us anything to have them placed in the tower or keep them all somewhere. If we do have some major event when we need big internet and the cellular system is wiped out, then our internet here is going to be gone as well. Our mobile command center, the internet won't be available out there either. And so when I went to Kentucky to help during the tornadoes over there, they have Starlink systems. Some of the guys I was flying drones with, and it worked flawless. So we'll have that in our back pocket too. So this place can be up running, and we can be up running with a mobile command center if we have to do something like that. The EMPG grant's been submitted. Heather and Cruz, they're in the process of gathering some documents. I got some emails from her office. Some documentation we need to provide for them later. That I don't even know when the date is on that yet. They've not sent that out yet. But we're in the process of getting that all squared away. The Indiana Emergency Management Conference was the 24th through 27th. I attended 3 of the 4 cyber classes that they had. And that scares me to death. I didn't realize even how scared I needed to be until I even sat in on that. Considering the hospital has some trouble and as Norton's and one of the guys explained that one of their IT professors explained that they'll find a smaller entity that partners with them and they'll get in kind of play around with the system and then they'll go attack, the bigger place. And so we just that literally just unfolded in front of our eyes, right in front of us. So and pretty scary. So, and then considering that the statewide outage, the Indiana Office of Technology, they offer lots of things to partner with them about, and I don't know what I don't know. So I don't know who like the person is to say, hey, do we really have some of these things in place? And or who's the person that we need to talk to about? They'll come and do a free screening for us with our cybersecurity systems. They offer free cyber training, all that bits. I don't know if Ovation is the only company that we deal with. And they do all those things for us or not, I don't know. And not even sure who the right person is to talk to. So I'll get with Sarah and Heather, and I think we'll figure that out. And they really offer loads of things for absolutely nothing. CISA is a group through National Department of Homeland Security. They do lots of things too. They do physical security assessments of properties and things that we identified. And they also have a cyber division as well and offer a lot of things. So I was pretty impressed with what they offered. And they do offer different service providers and or IT professionals across the state to group people up so that cost is a little bit less expensive for counties rather than just doing things on their own. I know she told me what they were like. There was a company that did like Ripon County, Ohio County, and I don't think it had like 4 or 5 counties close to us. And they all kind of come together and use them as IT professionals. So this is a little bit of the cost break there. Listening to the Sullivan tornado lessons learned presentation was pretty amazing. And just to see the devastation those guys had and dealt with on it, and how they got through that was pretty impressive what they were able to accomplish in such a short time. Did a little office transition. Lisa came in, got started on that last weekend, and so we started doing some things around and I'll make it that squared away. Had a meeting with the Coast Guard here. They came here to talk Tuesday. Steinhardt was in Tuesday to fix the breaker issue that we had, and had a short meeting with Susie about a 911 issue. I went down yesterday to the Ohio Valley Sector U.S. Coast Guard grant meeting their Area Maritime Security Committee. They have loads of grant money, and considering we have no Coast Guard like asset this way at all in the sector, the guy that I met with here, Jim introduced me to the captain of the board, and she was fabulous. She comes hiking at Clifty Park, so she's familiar with the area, and so that was a good thing. So she's familiar with where we are, who we are, and then she was surprised we didn't have anything out there. So it seemed very favorable, and she encouraged us to put in for a grant and potentially a boat asset to have of them this way. They did ask me to check on. I think the city's put in for like a camera and lighting grant for the river. And so I'm not sure whether they happen to be on that, but they just asked me to just check with those guys. We talked about drone issues and the fact that we have 3 or 4 pretty soft targets with us. They're very critical to our infrastructure system. So the power grid, especially, there's 3 coal-fired power plants within 20 miles of us, and those are pretty soft targets for aircraft. And of course, you saw just a few weeks back people flying around paramotors in Israel, and that was pretty devastating use of a pretty unsophisticated piece of equipment. And so we see how difficult that really the problems that can cause and how easy it is for them to do something like that. So had a big discussion with them about those things. Reminders were sent out to the EMA advisory board. We're going to continue those meetings. That starts again on December 4th. So if you're part of that board, then you should let me know. Let's see here. Just have some end of the year kind of things going on. Have scheduled truck for some service, and our side by side. I talked with John Shainstein about that. He said he thought there might be some bearing problem or something like that earlier, and so we'll get that scheduled and squared away. Staff meeting will meet before the end of the year to set some priorities and goals for 2024. I know we have some issues with some computers back there. We've got some older ones that won't update, and so we'll figure out a plan about getting that done, and working with the Office of Technology, because they offer QPA pricing on a lot of computers at a lot less expense. We need some spare batteries for radio systems, because I got a few brand new ones out of the box that hadn't been out and charged yet. So and they're just dead on arrival. They won't charge. And next week we're going to go up for a tour of the government center and IDHS offices. Visit the state EOC and their logistics center. So if you missed the first one and I want to go on the second one, anybody, you're welcome to ride with us. Jessica's not been up there, and it'd be nice for her to kind of see what the process is, and put names and faces and all that good. They should be talking with them all good. So important in there. But other than that, things going smooth. And just having just a quick question when you guys get done and free for a moment, and then I'm done. So thanks.
Thanks. You have to leave, I guess.
Yeah, Brian out there still?
Brian out there, Bobby?
No, can't leave.
Okay. Well, anybody from the public have anything?
I got one more. One more thing,
Okay, Mr. Mike,
one more thing.
come on down.
Just remind you guys that we're gonna have our BZA meeting at 5 o'clock, Board of Zoning Appeals meeting in the office. 315 Jefferson on Wednesday. It's the day after the.
Eighth,
Yeah, the 8th. And then after that, at 6 p.m., we're gonna be up at Ivy Tech to go over the UDO modifications.
Unit up there.
Yeah, we're gonna meet up there. So we'll have a plan commission meeting first. Or maybe we'll have the public hearing first, or the changes we're proposing for the UDO, just some corrections and some updates and so on and so forth. And some, a couple of omissions that were made, so that'll be on the 6 o'clock at Ivy Tech. Assuming the BZA doesn't run too long, which I don't think it will. So we'll be up there. at 6 o'clock. Dave can handle it till we get
Yep.
so that's basically just gonna be the corrections you wanted to
there.
make.
The updates,
Yeah,
updates and some things that we need to add that we didn't
Right,
add, that kind
right,
of thing,
right,
so.
right.
The other thing is the leaves are falling off the trees and things are becoming more visible. And as things become more visible, we hear more issues that are popping up in the county, so don't be bashful. There's a great forum that Sarah's worked on on the website to fill out for any issues or concerns people have, or they can call in and we'll take care of it, but we'll go out and investigate, see what's going on, but the leaves coming off the trees, people can see a lot more, so let us know what's going on whenever you see it.
We got one we don't have to worry about. I heard nothing but kudos on that, still hearing from it, so
Wonderful. That's the guy out in the hall did that.
kudos to both of
Thanks
you
to
for
Cody
that.
Phillips for letting us borrow some of the equipment. too.
Oh, yeah, yeah. It was amazing what was done in a day up there.
Very good, and we had neighbors helping us.
Right, yeah, I did.
We appreciate it, appreciate all the help from every other departments too, so help us out as well.
Yeah.
So, and Heather told me that credit card issue, the ordinance wasn't because I borrowed it one time.
See what you went and did.
I didn't mean to do it. I just bought some stamps, come on. Thank you all.
Thank
Any
you.
questions for me? Thank you guys, appreciate it.
Either you gentlemen have anything?
No, I do not.
No news is good.
That's it.
Yes, ma'am.
Every year we request that we shut the courthouse down for lunch for the county employee Christmas party. And I was wondering if I could get approval for that. That's gonna be on December 8th. And you guys normally let us close from 11 to 2. This year we're having a fiesta.
I see, yes. Oh.
Fiesta?
Fiesta.
That's after the fiesta. Okay,
I make a motion that we allow the courthouse to close from 11 to 2 for a Christmas dinner party.
I second that.
I have a motion and a second. All in favor, signify by aye. Aye.
Thank you.
Just remember to come out next week. We will be out at all the trash sites to sell trash cards.
Supposed to be pretty good weather, or better than this
I
one.
hope so. It's always touch and go in November, so you never know, but we're excited and ready to do this.
Hmm. Well, I mean,
You know,
on the one hand, if it takes some of the load off in the office,
it does. It makes the office less stressful, and honestly, even though the employees are coming after hours, they enjoy getting out and
Sure.
seeing the public, so
I've got help for you at one location. She's already committed, so
good deal.
I'll send her up.
Yeah.
And it makes it easy for the people too.
It does.
You're that that handy, so,
they're gonna be there anyway.
yes,
Mhm.
yeah. Okay,
I move we adjourn.
I second.
all those in favor, signify by aye. Thanks, everybody.